All right, welcome, Lisa. So I appreciate you for being here today. So just go ahead and just introduce yourself, introduce what's going on and what happens.
Okay, well, my name is Lisa Frank, and I live in Little Rock, Arkansas. I recently sold my home with Cody, and he's been pretty amazing. I met him one morning, probably a Tuesday, Monday or Tuesday morning, and he called me at 8 o'clock. And I am somebody who sleeps in. So I was thinking, okay, what does this person want? So
Yeah, yeah,
anyway,
because
he convinced
yeah,
me to, meet with him that morning, and I did, and I he sold himself very, very well.
mhm,
Um, I would say that probably when he left, I thought, well, that sounds great, but I'm not sure he can do what he says he's going to do.
mhm.
And lo and behold, he certainly did. Within a couple of weeks, he sold my house. So
Yeah.
I had had it
So
on the market previously for about 9 months, and I did not have anything happening with it. And then he walked in and said, well, that's not the problem. This is what we need to do. And he very effectively did that. He did just that. So,
awesome. I mean, you already basically answered the first question I was going to ask you. I was going to say, like, what was the initial thought process when I did call you at 8 in the morning? Because I remember you sleeping in. It was crazy. I was trying to make a joke about it because I was like, did I catch you at the right time or something like that? And then we went off from there. I mean, so like you said, you thought I was just a random guy who couldn't get the job done. I mean, so really, since you answered that question, I mean, the second question is like looking back, why did you not think the home sold? I know you said use, a family member. We're not here to bash anybody, right? But just,
no, of course not.
kind of walk me through like that experience of like why did you think it didn't sell and like what was going on?
At the time, I thought maybe just due to the economy and in general, I mean, I felt somewhat like there was a little bit less effort on it, but
Hmm.
like it wasn't quite focused upon. And plus, I wasn't quite sure how driven I was to get it done either, because
Right.
I was still a little unsure of what I wanted to do. I had another property that I would have rather have sold first, but it just didn't happen, and I needed to, go ahead and get going with it and make some plans for the future. So when he showed up and was so, when you rather, excuse me, showed up and you were so um, excited, I mean, I thought, well, why not? You know,
Yeah.
it was a good time to
And
do it.
and I remember, when we first met, you had a lot going on, right?
Mhm.
And I remember that there was some doubt in your voice, like, I really don't want to do this, especially when we went through, why it didn't sell, how I can get the buyer and all that stuff, right? You were a bit hesitant, like you said you were confident and you knew that you, like you said, you already sold, but I knew there was a point in time where it was like this guy's gonna get it done, but am I ready to pull the trigger? Like what was that like
Yes,
feeling
that's
of like, mhm. Like, so what was that feeling of like, okay, he can get this done, but am I really ready to, what if this guy does the same thing that my previous agent did? Like, what if I waste another 9 months? Like, what was going through your head when we were
I
going through that?
actually didn't feel like there was a comparison between you and the other person because I felt like you came in with a mindset that um, just told me this is somebody who's going to be relentless in what he's trying to do.
Yeah,
And I
exactly.
appreciated that. I like people who are going to be working and doing something for me and they show that they mean it. And that was very obvious to me. And everything you said, it might not necessarily happen exactly as you say, but I knew that the effort was going to be put into it. And that's what I appreciate.
Okay, okay. I mean, so let's say like before I came in, right? Like before I came in and you came off the market, like what was you originally trying to do? Like were you looking for another agent? Were you just saying what you're basically saying like, um like the heck with it. I'm not selling anymore. I'm going to stay here. Like what was that process before I came and called you and everything happened?
I would say that I knew that I was going to have to make some kind of move, but I was hoping. that my other property would sell first, and unfortunately, it did not because I had 2 very good properties, and I preferred to stay in Little Rock,
Mhm.
but it just didn't turn out that way. I'm just going to have
Yeah.
to hope that my path is guided by something
Yeah.
worthwhile. But when you came in and were so positive, I just feel I do believe, excuse me, in divine timing sometimes. So, I
Mhm.
think that it was, meant to be, and
Yeah.
it meant to find the right person as well. Because
Mhm.
the other person at there, you know, I'm sure they're very good at what they do normally, but it wasn't necessarily their field either.
Mhm.
And I just it was a night and day experience when it came to selling this place. Because I knew
Right.
that there was no reason why it should not sell. It's prime location
Mhm.
and a beautiful, townhouse as well. I mean, it was a really nice
Right.
place, so it should sell. And I had
Right.
people tell me, "Well, you should lower it by X and X and X," and I didn't have to do any of that. It sold for
Mhm.
more than the other person, other people were selling
Exactly.
maybe that would even,
So
not going to
so
happen,
what really
and it did.
so what really stood out to me is like what you said is like, the mindset, the attitude and all that stuff, right? Because like me and you
Yes,
both
definitely.
know, like me and you both know that being a real estate agent is, very challenging. It's like this is a very high failure rate business, right? I don't know if I remember telling you this, but like 73% agents did not do a deal last year, right? So I mean, immediately, what was going on in the economy, what was going on in the market, everything else. Like, I would understand that you would have had some type of doubt or whatever, right? But anyways, like going past everything when I came in, when I did the presentation, from what happened with the problem, right? What was that initial feeling when I brought that buyer the first 2 weeks when we were on the market, right? I believe it was 2 weeks or a week and a half. We got that offered. Like, what were you feeling like, oh my God, is this real? Like, tell me what that experience was.
I felt a little bit overwhelmed because it meant that I was gonna have to get off my tush and get some stuff done
Yeah,
in a
exactly.
hurry. And second of all, and I have a lot of things, as you know, I have a
Hmm.
lot of stuff in my house. But actually, I just really smiled inside because you did what you said you were gonna do, and I love to see people succeed like that, and certainly young people.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. Because like
Yeah.
the thing is like when people like when homes don't sell, right? People had a goal. People had an expectation, right? People had, a place to go. But when they've realized that they've been on the market for X amount of days are basically like not getting the proper communication from their agents, and basically a bunch of agents will overpromise and underdeliver, right? So I mean, like the next question will go into like that, right? Even though we were 3 months out from closing, like what would you say, to somebody who is in your situation or is currently like going to be in your situation who would possibly still in the market? What would you say to them that like, from everything that you experienced, from me cold calling you, from me presenting you what the problem was to presenting you how we're going to get there and then getting on a contract in less than 30 days? What would you say to somebody that is in your position right now?
Well, I could certainly tell them not to hesitate in hiring you, that's for certain. I
Yeah.
would also I would also say that it's not, as bad as we think it is most of the time. I that was one of the things that you pointed out to me at that time. I said, "I think it's the economy and the state of the world." And you said, "Well, what if that's not true?"
Right.
So, let's not, it felt encouraging to have someone who's not who's saying, "Don't put up blocks where they may not be."
Right.
You were saying, "Don't fall for the excuses for not succeeding at something. Go ahead and strive for, let's do this," and
Mhm.
I loved that about you. I love
I
that about
think
you.
I think what really like, especially like what you're saying, right? I think what really like stands out to you is leadership, right? You like being guided, and you
Mhm.
like
Oh,
being
certainly
around.
with that.
You like being
Certainly.
around people. You like being around people that will not saying that will tell you what to do, but will guide you to the place that you want to be. Right. This is kind of like a follow up question from what you're saying, right? Like from everything that you felt, right? from the day we met and all that stuff, right? Like, what would you thinking? Because I remember, I think I was telling you that I was 21 when you realized that I was 21, and like you you seen everything that I presented. Like, did you think like, oh, this is just a kid? What the hell is he talking about? Like, what was you
I did
feeling?
think that this is a really, really, really young person, but
Yeah.
I did not I and I but that also there was a part of me that says, well, why not? They
Mhm.
start somewhere. They start succeeding at some point. So why does it have to be, older? Why can't it be right now for him? Maybe he's going to be an even bigger deal. Let's see that happen. But I did not. I did have my thoughts about how young you were, in my opinion, and that's always
Yeah.
but I felt like, what do we have to lose? We've got nothing to lose. I
Mhm.
mean, you presented yourself in such a way that made me have faith in you. And I thought, well, I'm going to have faith in somebody. So why won't
Mhm.
I try this with this younger person who is obviously a go getter? I thought you were a
Right.
go getter. That made me want to list with you,
Awesome.
period.
And hey, you got the proof to back it up, right? And all you needed was that
Yes, we
leadership
do.
on the and the
You certainly,
and
I was amazed. You did exactly what you said you were going to do. And I thought, hey, he didn't even blink an eye. Perfect.
exactly. So I guess the last thing that I want to say to kind of like wrap all this up, right? And you already answered the part like if somebody's in your situation, that is going through right this situation, right? What would you tell somebody out there in the world like before they list a home? What do they need to look out for the next agent that they choose, and what are the mistakes? I'm not saying like again, I'm not bashing any agents, but what were the mistakes that you say you made in choosing the agent that you can tell somebody out there, hey, don't make this mistake. Make sure you look for this, and you will get a result.
I would say keep it, really professional in your mindset. Is it not just in your, not just don't expect that just from the realtor, expect it from yourself as well. So maybe choose someone that your gut instinct says this is a person who gets things done. Don't always kick, and that I think you're a fantastic person and love talking to you and spending time with you. Especially as I've gotten to know you, but I would also say trust your instinct and go with someone that you can tell wants to get something done. I mean, they can be
Mhm.
friendly or, sometimes friendships develop and sometimes they don't, but you can always have a good professional state that can. I'm trying to get quite the right words here, but
You're good.
you can always find that ground where you can really connect with someone. I mean, and
Mhm.
sometimes it's just strictly professional, but sometimes it turns into a friendship too, which can be nice. And
Exactly.
I felt like, like I said, I just felt like you were a go-getter, going to get the job done. And that's how you should be approaching everyone that, you're spending your time, your money, everything else on. You choose it that way too. Keep that in mind all
Exactly.
the time
Mhm.
because your body, your instinct knows, I think. I truly believe
Mhm.
that anyway.
And I also
I didn't do a
believe
very
that.
good job on explaining that, but, forgive me.
No,
And
no, no. I'm pretty
oh,
sure.
what can I say?
No, in my opinion, I think that was perfect, right? Because somebody out there is going to be like, she's right. She's right. You need to go with your gut instinct. Can this person be trustworthy? And I also believe that things happen for a reason, right? We met for a reason, right? Because
I
you
do.
had a problem.
I
You
do
had a
believe that.
problem, and I went in and solved it. And of course, like I said, I'm not gonna disclose it, but there was a lot going on in your life at the time, right? And there was times where I had to
Mhm.
talk to you and had to calm you down, right? Like, hey, do you trust me? Do
Oh,
you
yeah.
you leave this
Couple times.
process, right? So I think that's kind of what built that bond, right? Because a lot of people are
Yeah.
just, they're going to tell you, and this is another thing I want to add on to that, right? A lot of agents they don't set that expectation at the appointment, right? You're supposed to set that expectation of, hey, if like for example, if we don't get any offers at the first 2 to 3 weeks, the market's going to tell us to show overpriced, right? So many people or so many agents are so scared to call out their clients, right? They're so scared to like, you know, they're so scared to offend people, but offend people in the way like for their good intentions, right? They're doing it so like the good intentions for you. I don't know why like I'm struggling with this, but I'm trying to say the right words to it. But like people or agents, they're
Yeah.
scared to be honest with their people, right?
Yeah.
And like I said again, like whenever I pointed out the times that you were like kind of nervous, you were kind of nervous about everything, especially when we went on a contract. When we went through inspections, you were nervous, right? I think you were in Italy, and I was trying to make you calm down because I wanted you to enjoy your trip. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't stress about this. But like I said, I had it all under control, and yeah, that was the entire sprint. If we had to go through it again, I mean, honestly, I would still sell it way less than that, way faster before that. But anyways, but like I said, I do appreciate you coming on here. Telling the world about your experience. The advice that you can give to people, and what was going on through the entire process. Is there any last message you want to tell people that's out there right now that's listening, who may need the advice, who may need anything that you want to just throw out there?
Well, I would say number 1, good luck, and number 2, I would say that, have faith because it'll happen, and there's a reason for everything. Maybe you have to adjust something and just have faith and trust your gut.
Yeah,
And trust
100%.
have faith in people too. And sometimes we don't we don't really feel that, but most of the time, there are a lot more nice people out there than we thought. So
Oh, trust me.
hopefully you're gonna
There.
meet one and they're gonna be a great realtor like Cody here.
Yes, thank you. Well, guys, I appreciate you for watching.
Shameless, it's a shameless push for you. So
No. Yeah. Well, guys, I appreciate you watching the video, guys. Listen, you heard it from her herself. If you are going through the situation, right now where you're still in the market, and you're having some trouble, and you need to get someplace, click that Zoom link in the description below, book a free call. Let's see if I can help you get to where you need to go, just like I did with Miss Beautiful Lisa, right? And so I thank you guys for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Let's get it.